quilting fans out there, it's Rob Appel coming to you from my studio, and I am still playing with the new Fiesta fabric line from Michael Miller Fabrics. Oh, that's perfect timing. That's my cell phone ring. Listen to that. Excuse me, I better take this call. Okay, business call, I'm back. Hey, I want to show you my cool new t-shirt. Right? Is that a sweet logo or what? So the sewingparty.com happens November 8th. It's going to be a live event with pre-recorded classes. There's a bunch of super cool educators doing all kinds of sewing, garment and home decor and bags and aprons, I think, and of course quilting and me doing troubleshooting with sewing machines. So look for that. But I want to show you what's going on in the background. Come on in. We're dealing with some new fabric. So I already have my 2 quilts for Quilt Market made from the Fiesta line that are using the prints and some of the solids, but these are all of the solids for the 3 different colorways for the Fiesta for Michael Miller Fabrics. And guess what I'm going to do? A new color Strata quilt. Yeah, so at the rate that this book is selling, I assume you all already have your copy, but if not, you can get it at robappel.com. Color Strata goes through a bunch of the first quilts I made using this theory, and so now I'm going to put these new colors to the test. It's going to be super fun. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build the strata out of the orange to purple to blue fade. And then these green strips I'm going to use in between for my pop color to get that syncopated rhythm. So for the orange family to purple, I'm cutting one 2.5-inch strip that I'm keeping intact and a second 2.5-inch strip that's being split into a 1 and a 1.5. So if you're doing these off of jelly rolls, that's easy to do. For my green family, I have cut actually 3 2.5-inch strips. 2 were set aside as 2.5, and the other one was split in the middle to make 1.25. These will be the long running strips in between, and of course I'm filming this as I go, which means the design is in my brain. We don't actually know if this is going to work or not. So I'd like to bring you in for a close-up, a little cutting tip. We are going to need these at about 22 inches long by the 2.5, the 1.5, and the 1. So right after I cut those strips, I just took and cut the folds right off of there. And that makes things nice and easy because we're going to go ahead and mix these together. We're going to do one set of sewing where all the strips are the equal width to each other, and they all go in the same color order. I'll show you that in a second. Then we make another set where we mix and match the sizes but the same color order. That's how we get the magic in the strata. Okay, this is going to give you a little bit better idea of what I mean by same size strata and variety size strata. So one of the things I always do before I start sewing anything together is make sure I have everything I want. So I have organized, and the color order always stays the same, from that light blue up to the dark purple, from the dark purple all the way through the orange. So there is an example of my widest 2.5-inch strips, and these are placed together, color order of same width strips. Here is the same color order, but you see there's a variety. I start with my middle width strips or my medium width into my large into my narrow. Color order stays the same. Start with large into small into medium and so on and so forth. And so here they all are. I have all my different piles. I should have 6 different piles of strata to make. And there they are. All of this different strata sets stitched together. So I've got Sherman getting all hot and bothered. That's right, gave him a few cocktails and turned on some Berry White. So there's Sherman the iron over there, built like a old tank, and he is ready to press these bad boys down. Let me show you the trick to that. Okay, so my normal trick, is to use the iron to open the seam and press it forward, but I didn't want to get out of my chair over and over again to do this, so now I'm going to do them all at the same time. So what I've got here is I've already turned underneath the first seam, or that very lightest blue. And I'm going to slide Sherman, the big iron, up underneath there and kind of catch that, because I want the iron to catch the flat edge of the seam allowance and then fold open that first seam. Now once that starts to happen, it's going to be easier to catch the other seams as I go down the line. Okay, now you see them all pressed and nice and tidy. Next step, like I said, I'm going to cut these perpendicular to the seams I just made, so now it's going to look like little strips of bands of color. Now here's what I was talking about. First set of cuts are done. So that has yielded 2 3-inch cuts, 3 2.5-inch cuts, 5 1.5-inch cuts, and not much left over. So I might be down to 4 1.5-inch cuts when I'm all done with this. So those all stay like that, and then I'm going to do that to the rest of the stack in there. Here we go, putting it together, and I'm trying to lay it out somewhat randomly, bringing the yellows and greens through it so there'll hopefully be kind of a highlight up in this section. And there we have the finished layout. Not bad for a day's work. Get to stitch all that together now, and quilt it. And they're so fun to quilt with that Cotton Couture. Quilts like butter. See the grading of the green and the yellows there, and then our Strata strips. I think I'm going to like this. Is while I'm doing this, I'm always piecing with my solid strip against my feed dogs. I feel like that really helps things feed better, and this way I can control all my seams up top. And I've got a lot of these little seams that are coming together, so I also keep a metal stiletto handy. Well, there it is, ready to be basted. Well, I'm about halfway through the quilting. Got another hour or two of pleasure in front of me, and you can see what I've done is laid out some big open circles and triangles to make kind of a sun motif. And there's 4 of those in there, and then I will fill in circles inside of the big circular area. And then just a bunch of my fun doodle quilting in between the big triangles. And I'm not sure if I'll lay extra lines in these triangles or not. It's something I keep thinking about doing. But then I like the open space when I'm finished. So there it is. I will take one last set of shots for the end of this video for everybody with it all quilted up. But other than that, that is one of the new Fiesta solid Cotton Couture Color Strata Michael Miller fabrics. Rob Appel getting together, having a blast. Thanks everybody.